Luang Prabang lies on the junction of the Mekong and Khan rivers in northern Laos, 367 kilometres from the capital, Vientiane. This historic town is surrounded by lush mountainous forests and has a population of around 25,000 people, with the majority making their living through agriculture. Luang Prabang was the ancient capital city of the Langsang Kingdom, and today is known as the seat of the Lao culture, with the town boasting many historical and cultural landmarks. With its many temples, monasteries and monuments, it's no wonder that it has become one of Laos' most popular tourist destinations and a starting point for tourists the world over to take in the many attractions that the Luang Prabang province has to offer. Join Earthwalkers as we uncover the French colonial charm of Luang Prabang and head to the hills to meet the locals. The Jewel of Indochina was designated a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1995, and as a result, new developments have been limited. To a large extent, a visit to Luang Prabang is a step back in time. Because it is so easy to get around, the best way to see Luang Prabang is on foot. You notice that life moves at a slow pace, and that the houses and streets are a reminder of the days of French colonial rule. Let's meet our Earthwalkers, Taryn from Canada and Ian from the UK, as they explore Luang Prabang.
Hi, my name is Taryn.
I'm Ian.
We're in Luang Prabang, Laos, and we decided we're going to go with a group of other travelers to the waterfalls.
Before they head off, Taryn and Ian's first move is to find a tour operator to take them to the Tatsay Falls, and this is where bargaining skills come in handy.
50,000 to get there.
50? That's expensive. How about 32? 33?
Oh,
32.
32. Ah,
Good price.
40.
40?
40.
Do you reckon? 4 people. 36. How would you?
After agreeing on a price and picking up some friends, it's time to hit the road.
They buy all the meals and stuff out of it as well.
The first stop is a village where people can stock up on supplies before the boat trip to the falls.
I don't know.
Fish? Dried batch.
It smells bad. Very bad. Show this up?
So we're on our way to the small waterfall after a bumpy road, and we've got to cross this river apparently, so here we go. Hapan.
ละละลาย
Look at this. I need a new
ละ
wallet.
ลาย
Oh la la,
ละ
ooh
ลาย
la la.
ละลายขอบใจละลาย
กี่วะ
I think it's the most beautiful waterfalls I've ever seen. Sort of come out in the clearing, and there's just multi-levels of you've sort of got trees everywhere, and then all the water, maybe about this deep, coming all through the trees, and then maybe dropping down 2 meters every so often. I mean, that's average.
It's about, I don't know how many tiers. I think there was maybe at least 10 tiers of waterfalls and different pools you can swim in, and the water was like a milky kind of green set amongst the trees. It kind of had a very enchanted feeling to it.
It's just absolutely beautiful. All you see is just falls absolutely everywhere. We of course jumped in there, and there's a few places where you can jump in. We found a little sort of cliff jump as well off one of the falls. No, absolutely amazing. Just you could stare at those waterfalls for days and still think they're absolutely amazing.
Kind of cold, but very refreshing.
And Ian, yours?
It's lovely, beautiful waterfall, very beautiful.
And what do you think of the area?
Spectacular. I've been to a few places, a few waterfalls in the world. Hawaii, and we've also been to a bigger one here in Laos, and the saying bigger is better doesn't fit here. This is absolutely spectacular. The waterfall's smaller than the bigger, obviously smaller, but it's beautiful.
And Ian, what did you think of this waterfall?
No, it's definitely beautiful. I mean, the way it comes through the trees is absolutely magnificent. And of course, having a little cliff jump into the water made it amazing. So yeah, definitely recommend coming here. But we'll keep it a secret where it is.
Mount Fuji dominates over the township of Luang Prabang, and as Ian and Taryn found out, it's the best place to be as the sun sets over this beautiful part of Laos. Next day sees Taryn and Ian off to the Pakul Caves, which are 25 kilometres upstream from Luang Prabang, at the junction of the U and Mekong rivers.
The caves, after a little bit of bargaining, we got the price down to about 16,000 kit from an initial, I think, 30,000 kit. For the boatman, it was about an hour journey there. Down by boat against the current, so it took a little longer. I'm up the Mekong River.
Sort of come around a corner, a bend in a river, and then you've got these just beautiful opening just in the cliffs with like a white wall just down below, and that's the main cave.
That was a really almost holy experience, I guess you could say. Being in the caves, there was something, it's a special feel in the caves, I think. It's definitely interesting.
The caves are filled with thousands of Buddhas in various sizes, left by devotees over hundreds of years.
Get off inside and then there's just thousands of Buddhas in there. Little ones that are this big and then maybe 2-3 meters high as well.
As well as being a place where tourists can experience the religious significance of the caves, for a small amount of money, you can maybe find out what the future holds for you.
Okay, so I've just put 1,000 kip in this little box for the Buddha, yeah? And now I have to pick a stick, and this stick will kind of read me my fortune. So let's just hope I get a good one. No babies, yeah? Which one should I pick? It's so absurd. We'll go for this one. 60. Oh, I'm near to be married as well. Oh my God! Don't get any ideas, okay?
No trip to the Pakul Caves is complete without a stopover at the Whiskey Village on the way back to Luang Prabang.
Sabadi, Sabadi Bar. Now what is this? Lao Lao. Okay, so this is Lao Lao, the Laos standard alcohol. Here in Nong Sai. Nong Sai, Luang Prabang. Yeah. All right. Ian? Ian, are you going to chicken out on me here? Go and have a shot. That's okay. Bigger the better. Bottoms up. Okay, bottoms up. To Lao. You're supposed to look me in the eye.
After a leisurely meal that night with friends and a few bottles of Lao Lao, Ian is up early to observe the daily ritual of Luang Prabang's Buddhist monks.
We got up at 5:30 to go and see the monks receiving their offerings. Basically at 6 o'clock every morning, the monks go around the town and the locals are out on the side of the street, sort of on mats, offering the monks. It was mainly rice they were offering in little jars, sort of woven little pots. They maybe walk around for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just getting a little bit of rice of every single person, and then there's the sort of head monk, I won't know what you'd call him, going around after and then actually praying to the villagers townspeople, to give them thanks. And basically the reason for the villagers doing this is that they then receive, I don't know, maybe sort of good luck.
After his morning with the monks, Ian leaves Luang Prabang. Meanwhile, Taryn is off on a 2-day trek into the hills around Luang Prabang to experience village life firsthand.
Today we are going south of Luang Prabang. We're going to visit a Kamu village, one of the minorities here in Laos, as well as we're going to continue on up to the Crystal Caves. And we have our Energizer Bunny of a guide here, Mr. New. We'd like to introduce you. Say hello. This is Mr. New. So he's been kind enough to take us on this little journey. So see what kind of
Crystal
adventures.
Cave.
Crystal Caves, yeah.
Climbing.
Yeah?
Yes.
So you have to be fit to do
Are
this.
you
don't you?
fit?
I'm fit. Look at these muscles.
Oh, I don't fit. I'm old
Look at these
man.
muscles. Oh, I bet you could beat me though.
After a stroll through a village, it's down to the river for an hour boat ride upstream against the rapids. The end of the boat ride signals the beginning of an energy-sapping trek to the caves in very humid conditions through lots of thick vegetation.
Caves, we had to do some pretty steep climbing for about what should have been 50 minutes, but I think it took us more like an hour and a half or something like that to actually get up. It's good actually, you know. I was thinking the beer Lao last night might have affected my performance, but the heart rate's going and it's good to be active again.
Not too dangerous?
There was a few really narrow paths, if you could call it a path, where it was pretty muddy and we had a few slip and slides, but nothing too major, no.
And what
It's
about...
very steep though. One thing you have to watch is the falling earthworms that are about this big that like to fall on top of you. That's right.
And looking forward to the climb?
Actually, yeah, I am. I like rock climbing, so it'll be fun.
Excellent.
Yeah, excellent. Check, good.
After you.
Like, there's some pretty steep parts with some mud, and it was pretty wet as well. I think I'd rather hold the fucking... Once we got up to the caves, it was spectacular. It was also nice to get out of the heat. Inside the caves there was, I don't know, it's from years of water dripping down. It formed this like crystal, this shining crystal formations all throughout the caves. It was really beautiful. The different formations, it was almost like, I don't know, it's kind of ghouly almost, you know, 'cause it's all dark, and it's really interesting. So we hung out there for, what, about an hour or so, I think, and had some local food, some of the local tamarind jam, which was actually pretty good, and I liked it. Then on the way down was fun, slip and sliding, you know, through the jungle.
After a half-hour boat ride downstream, the group stops at a village where they meet the locals, get a home-cooked meal and bunk down for the night.
We came up and, you know, there was a few children around, and then once people became aware that we were here, they all just kind of ran, but they stayed really close together and they didn't want to come near us. We couldn't get near them. Oh, I love it. Oh, little kids. Everyone's looking at you so curiously. I feel like you're like a spectacle. Just like I said before, you know, a little bit like the standoff, you know, who are you? And we're going, oh, who are you, you know?
It's not long before the Earthwalkers and the village children find common ground in the shape of a football.
That was the icebreaker, you know? Kids, it was fun. You can relate, you know? That's all it takes is one kid to kind of not be shy and break the ice, and then pretty soon, you know, it was catching on and everyone kind of joined in. And after that, I think it was a lot easier for us to, you know, converse with all the people in the village.
The next morning, Taryn and friends are up early to begin a day's trek into the mountains.
They probably make that look so easy, you know. Yeah, look, see? Like a lot of travelers nowadays trying to get off the beaten track, and it's getting harder and harder to get off the beaten track in Southeast Asia, but Laos is refreshing in that sense where there's not so many travelers here, and to be able to get out of the city and be the only Western person here, you know, amongst a village, it's definitely an experience, and it's a worthwhile one, I think. Go to Laos, don't think twice about it, get on the boat, train, plane, and come to Laos, because it's the most beautiful country I've ever been in the whole world, and I've been around the world. The people are so helpful. I mean, it hasn't been completely commercialized like Thailand, you know, there hasn't been so much traveling done here, so I think overall, if you want more of an authentic Southeast Asian experience, you know, amongst beautiful, enchanting settings, then definitely come to Laos.